Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I would know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. We are still arguing over this during the break over Aaron Rodgers and whether or not the Jets would be smart to give 2 first-round picks to the Green Bay Packers for Aaron Rodgers. And you know, Rico and I don't actually argue or debate this often or that often when it comes authentically, but this is something that we're pretty passionate about here, Rico.
Apparently we are.
Thomas and Lincoln chimes in on the text line 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Thomas and Lincoln says, Rico, we should be proud of Nick. Let's just stop it right there.
That's it.
Because he called the Happy Hour our show instead of his show.
He did. I'm very proud of him.
You're welcome, Rico. See, adjustments. Proud
of you.
Mark tweeted out, said, Nick and Rico are arguing about Aaron Rodgers in the hallway and their voices are getting really high. Tune into the Happy Hour, I guess. He said it's the opposite of that one commercial that Nick voiced where he accidentally lowered his voice a half a step. Mark, don't make me out you on the radio, unfortunately.
Hey, don't talk down to Mark.
I'm not talking down, but I think transparency is important in this situation. And when I voiced that commercial, there was a preset on the Adobe Audition that made my voice much lower than it needs to be, or I tried to make it. So, what are you looking up, Rico? I know you're crunching numbers. Do you want to say something about Aaron Rodgers? You want to do this still?
I'm looking up the Jets' first-round draft pick since 2013.
Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. I think Quinnen Williams was, because that was the whole blessing.
Okay, you ready? So there's multiple times where they've had 2, which they could just give up and get Aaron Rodgers and they'll be fine. I'm looking at the last 10 years. 2013, D. Milner and Sheldon Richardson.
Okay.
2014, Calvin Pryor. 2015, Leonard Williams.
Hey, Leonard Williams from USC. That was Randy Gregory's year.
2016, Darren Lee. 2017, Jamal Adams. 2018,
was a good one.
Sam Darnold. Yeah, they traded him away.
Traded away Sam Darnold.
2019, Quinnen Williams. 2020, Mekhi Becton. Great pick. Can't stay healthy. Although I think he was healthy this year. 2021, Zach Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker. 2022, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson.
And 2 of those 3 are, I honestly don't know what Jermaine Johnson did.
I don't know. He's a DN. I don't know.
Garrett Wilson was just fine.
Yes.
And so was Sauce Gardner.
Now pair Garrett Wilson and Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker, who's a guard, with Aaron Rodgers instead of Zach Wilson and Mike White.
I'm not saying you stick with Zach Wilson, Rico. You're missing the point.
Then what do you do? You take you try to trade up in
the
draft.
Try to trade up, or you go free agency
and get who?
There's always quarterbacks available. There's always quarterbacks available for trade. There, you have to think. You can also.
Who's better than Aaron Rodgers that you can legitimately trade for?
How good is Aaron Rodgers? I'm asking you right now.
Aaron Rodgers is still a top 8 quarterback in the league.
I'm curious because I don't know if we want to dive deeper into this. I'm not sure that long-term wise. Now I understand that this is a not for long league. I get that. I also understand that it's the what have you done for me lately? What are we doing short term? Do we win right away? You never know how guys are with injuries, with retirements, with trades, with free agency, how that's all going to shake out. I get that. So you don't want to have too long of a thought process approach when you're orchestrating and trying to put together an NFL organization or team. However, when you look at recent off seasons and recent years with Aaron Rodgers, and more specifically like last offseason especially, where you had the idea of floating between retirement, just holding out against the Packers. And I get that's against the Packers organization. I understand that that's not the case against the NFL or against every organization. I understand that. Unfortunately, I can't sit here after what we saw with Aaron Rodgers and not with Devontae Adams. And yes, it was in the Packers organization. And sit here and go, you know what? If he goes to New York and plays for the Jets, that automatically puts them in a surefire playoff spot in the AFC. That is high, just a giant pool of talented quarterback after talented quarterback, young quarterback after young quarterback. And when you go up again, if you want to talk Super Bowl, you want to talk Super Bowl, which is the ultimate prize,
which is what we're doing,
does Aaron Rodgers put the Jets in that much better of a situation than going out, saving 2 first-round picks and grabbing somebody from free agency when you get a healthy Breece Hall back next season? And you also have to deal with Cincinnati, who Joe Burrow is probably crossed Josh Allen for the second best quarterback in the AFC behind Patrick Mahomes.
Who you lost 27-12 in week 3 with Joe Flacco as quarterback.
I get that. But I'm saying you can't look at individual matchups, Rico. Just because the Lions beat the Packers in week 17 or week 18 doesn't mean that the Lions were a better team than the Packers this year. Just because the Rams could have beaten the Bengals doesn't mean the Rams are a better team. You can't look at individual games. You have to look at seasons, and you have to look at
individual games all I want.
That's like Nebraska going out and beating number 1 Purdue in men's basketball and saying, you know what, Nebraska's the better team. Why aren't they in the NCAA tournament instead of Purdue?
Oh, they could have won more games. They should have won more games if they beat number 1.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is that unfortunately, when I look at it from my point of view, I look at it as the Jets giving up 2 first-round picks, which you said in the crossover were not that valuable.
Do it.
Which is just mind-boggling to me that we devalue first-round picks.
I'm not devaluing them. I'm saying that 2 first-rounders this year and next year, 2 next year, 2 this year, whatever, however you package it, is not – those 2 first-rounders are not going to give you the same impact in the immediate future that Aaron Rodgers is going to give you. You can make up those 2 first-rounders at some point, unless, of course, those 2 first-rounders end up being Hall of Famers, but you never know with these guys. You could draft somebody that'll end up a massive bust, or they'll end up a Hall of Fame. You could take somebody in the 4th round that'll end up being better than somebody in the 1st round.
Yeah. And Corey and Lincoln says this on the text line. You're talking up the quarterbacks you have to beat in the AFC, Nick, yet advocating for settling for a mid-tier quarterback to beat those quarterbacks. And Corey and Lincoln, I get what you're saying, and I am, and I'm not. I wouldn't say it's settling. I would call it instead using your assets in 2 first-round picks to where if you do your job as a front office and as a coaching staff to identify and draft successfully in the 1st round, and you draft the talent that fits your franchise best for your needs, for what's going to help you win games, maybe not immediately, but in 2-3 years, like a guy like Breece Hall, like a Wilson. Garrett Wilson. I want to say Jack. I knew it wasn't Jack. Garrett Wilson. That is where the value of first-round picks come into play. I understand that I was saying that, hey, yeah, settle for a free agent quarterback to, to, beat a, top-tier quarterback if you want to. I understand that that's what I'm saying. But where is the more value for me as just an NFL
Think about it this way. If you have drafted well in the 1st, 2nd, however many rounds, the previous however many seasons, you can take the risk of trading your next 2 first-rounders away for a person who will immediately help you and immediately take those first-round draft picks that you have collected, those first-round athletes that you have brought into your team, can immediately make them better. Because although Aaron Rodgers does not have as many years left as a rookie quarterback that you could, trade up, hopefully you're going to give up a lot more assets to trade up in the draft to get a Bryce Young or to get a CJ Stroud than you are to trade for an Aaron Rodgers who you can have for 1, 2, 3 years. He will immediately make your team better. I don't care about the off the field drama or any of that. That does come into play, but on the field strictly, he is going to make your team better. He's going to make Garrett Wilson better. He's going to make Breece Hall better. He's going to make that offensive line look better, and he's just going to help your team as a whole be better, be smarter, be just better on the football field. Whereas if you trade up, and you're going to have to give up 2-3 first rounders, a couple players to trade up in the draft into that top 3, top 4, top 5 region to get a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young, you're giving up a lot more assets to take a chance that guy turns out like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather sign Derek Carr and have 2 first-round picks for it's not going to be the Jets. It's not like they have 2 first rounders in one single season. We're talking, this is over 2 seasons.
I don't know if they have 2 this year.
So they may, but maybe the Jets don't give up the 2 in the same draft. But I'm saying, so you're taking the first round pick from, let's just say, this season and the first round pick for next season. So you have 2 straight years of the NFL draft, hypothetically speaking, to where you have to give up your first round draft pick. You don't get, according to the draft rankings, top 32 players.
They're number 13 this year. It's the first time since 2020 that they won't have 2 first round picks.
Okay, so
this season.
So that's fine. So not hypothetically speaking, realistically speaking now, if the Jets give up this season or this year's, the 2024 draft pick, first rounder, and the 2025 first round draft pick, you are now missing out on potentially the one of the top 32 players in the draft for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And so to get Aaron Rodgers, who may retire after next year, may retire this offseason, may retire in 3 years. You don't know. It is a wild card now. Who also, unfortunately, I look at it this way. If you're the Jets, Derek Carr was just axed from Las Vegas. Derek Carr is not on the same playing field as Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's
not necessarily even close. Now, is it a step up from Zach Wilson and that dumpster fire that the Jets thought would be successful to take a quarterback from BYU and put him in the center of New York and give him the keys of the franchise? Is absolutely a step up. And are you not throwing away, but are you able to now pick one guy of the top 32 projected NFL players from the draft class the next 2 seasons and use that to make not only Derek Carr better, but also who before, you can't forget, Derek Carr would have been an MVP type of quarterback if he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
If he didn't break his leg.
Now, he's not there anymore.
Nope.
I get that. But think about what we were saying about Derek Carr going into the season with the Raiders. Was, hey, if Josh Jacobs compliments him well and Devontae Adams has a good season and Josh McDaniels, that whole experiment works out,
it was never going to.
Derek Carr could have been a pretty good quarterback and they could have maybe made the playoffs. That's what we were saying before the season.
You were saying.
A lot of us were agreeing.
I wasn't.
Okay, I was saying
I didn't like that.
I felt like the Raiders could have been a playoff team this year.
You forget Josh McDaniels was a terrible
coach.
You
forget about that. But you look at the Raiders defense since Max Crosby and things like that.
They built it up, yeah.
But here's the deal. Like, unfortunately, I just wonder how much of an upside does Aaron Rodgers give you over a guy like Derek Carr when, and included in that, 2 first-round picks are given up. Because, like, yes, you can find diamonds in the roughs in the 3rd, the 4th round. I get that.
Brock Purdy was the last pick.
Brock Purdy was the last pick, but Brock Purdy doesn't work at every single place in the NFL.
You are correct.
So I wonder, I just, like, once again, 402-464-5685. Thomas and Lincoln, why acting Green Bay is going to be drafting a first-round pick with a wide receiver. They haven't done that. I don't know how long. Didn't they do it with Christian Watson last year?
What was it?
Green Bay taking a wide receiver in the first round. Didn't they take Christian Watson in the first round from North Dakota State?
No, I don't think so.
Watson, I swore. Either way, that's not what my point is going to be.
They don't Green
Thomas
Bay, and that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers wants to leave Green Bay, and why he's held out, and why he's been so dramatic and I might retire this year, is because Green Bay has not surrounded him with talent. First round talent in skill positions. They always go defensively, or they go with an offensive lineman or something. I don't know their draft strategy, but they don't draft first-round wide receivers, first-round running backs when they have the chance to. There have been multiple instances where they have a chance to take somebody who's ended up being pretty good in the NFL with their first-round pick, and they go somewhere else.
So Christian Watson was the 34th overall pick. So the second pick in the second round, the Packers traded up from 53 and 59th overall to trade up to 34th overall and take Christian Watson, the wide receiver from North Dakota State, which struggled early on in the season, but then really started to come on strong towards the back half of the year. But once again, Thomas and Lincoln, it's coming at me saying, Nick, why are you acting like Green Bay is going to be drafting a first-rounder wide receiver in the first round? That's not my point of this argument.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn what Green Bay does with the 2 first-round picks. It's what can the New York Jets do with the 2 first-round picks.
They have gone defense every year since 2012. They went offensive line in 2010 and 2011, but they've gone defensive end, safety, nose tackle, no pick in 2017, corner, D-end, safety, quarterback, corner, linebacker, D-line.
Yeah, no, well, and it's obvious. And
their defense is garbage.
The Packers are sitting here with Jordan Love as the backup quarterback, and we don't know what his future looks like either.
When was the last time? Aaron Rodgers in 2005. Javon Walker in 2002 is the last time they took a skill position player in the first round.
I mean, okay, so here's interesting because we always talk about top 5, top 10 quarterbacks in the league and things like that. Mm-hmm. And 402-464-5685. Love to hear your phone calls and your texts. Should we do a quarterback tier thing for the NFL, Rico?
Sure.
Because here's where I'm at. I don't think. Okay. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen.
Allen's like half of a notch below.
Half, yeah, 2A, 2B. Like
year after year, Super Bowl contenders like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow's slowly like inching his way up to there. Mm-hmm. I'd put Burrow and Allen kind of there, although Allen's still a slight of a notch below because he can't seem to get it done in the playoffs.
Because, so we got this on the text line. Corey and Lincoln says, counting out the top quarterbacks, Rodgers is at worst 6th best and probably 4th. Now here, let's count them out because this is not a conversation of quarterbacks in their entire career. In my eyes, when we do tier quarterbacks, it's right now who are the best quarterbacks in the league. Are we on board with that?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Do currently?
Yeah.
Where like obviously 5 years ago Tom Brady's number 1, but right now Tom Brady in terms of career wise,
like this
year. Yeah, exactly.
This year.
Okay, so this year. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. Burrow and Allen, whatever order you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does Jalen Hurts this season, who potentially is the most improved player?
He's up there with them.
Okay.
With those 3.
Okay, with those 3.
Yeah.
Because he's over the last, his first 2 seasons in the league was not good. No. Most improved player, if you look at his statistics this year, completing close to 70% of his passes. And obviously is 14-1.
I know for a fact he missed 1 game. Did he miss 2 games? Because if he doesn't miss those games, he's higher in the MVP conversation.
Either way, he's in the top 4.
Yes.
Top 4. There's your 4. All right. You ask, what about Trevor Lawrence?
I mean,
he's in that next tier. In that next tier. I understand the 4 interceptions against the Chargers.
Well, I'm not even looking at that. I'm just just the overall season. Like,
but
it was,
this season,
he put up some numbers, but the team wasn't. I don't know his stats off the top of my head. I guess you could put him up there. He took his team to the playoffs when it was also a garbage division.
So, okay, so here's just names to throw out there. Okay. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson would be the other 2. I'm not.
Lamar didn't play.
You know I'm not sold on Justin Herbert.
I know you're not. Neither am I.
Okay.
Lamar didn't play.
We can go if people have problems with Justin Herbert and that take that I don't like Justin Herbert.
He's not. Everybody was hyping him up as such a great quarterback. He's not up there yet.
He's 25 and 24 in his career.
Still doesn't want to.
I understand. I understand that a lot of that loss against the Jags came against because of Brandon Staley. But you put up 3 points as an offense against the Jaguars in a playoff in the second half when you were up 27-0. And you're second in the. You had second most passing yards in a single season, but like, come on, you didn't win football games, and that's what matters, I think, to me personally. So then in this is where I put Aaron Rodgers this season in this group of guys. All right. Tom Brady in this group, and not specific order.
Good. Yeah.
Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford when he was healthy, Aaron Rodgers probably a notch above.
Since it's going off of this year, I'm docking Matthew Stafford. He didn't
because
play a lot.
injured.
Yeah.
Injured.
Same with Lamar Jackson.
Same with Lamar.
Lamar's a former MVP. He didn't play much this year.
Like Kirk Cousins.
I like Kirk. He had a great year.
Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones.
It's just hard with Daniel Jones.
It is because you don't like Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott had the interception problem.
A massive interception problem.
So Aaron Rodgers is probably a notch above him.
He also didn't play this season. You're going off of this season.
Yep.
So he's lower.
Yeah, okay, so lower. Where's Derek Carr in this?
He had a bad year. He didn't play. He got benched. He's getting cut.
Mm-hmm.
He's a notch below.
So Aaron Rodgers is in that
he's in the
conversation.
Third tier.
Third tier.
Yeah.
And so that's where I wonder, is it worth giving up 2 first-round picks for a third-tier quarterback that's past his prime?
Yes.
Even though it's not going to put you in the Super Bowl conversation.
It could.
I don't see it, unfortunately. And that's where we'll agree to disagree. I think we proved it right there that Aaron Rodgers is in the third tier of quarterbacks here. And yes, to go into the free agency and get maybe a fourth tier guy.
Who are the free agents this year that might even
Derek Carr. That's the one I'm thinking about.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Derek Carr.
He is better. That's not what the debate's about, Rico. It's what is better for the long term, or I guess intermediate term, not immediately, intermediate for the New York Jets. For the New York Jets, is it to spend 2 years with Aaron Rodgers and not have a first round pick for the next 2 seasons, or for 2 of the next 3 seasons, and then maybe you make a Super Bowl, or maybe you make the playoffs, or in an AFC that personally I think is much more balanced than the NFC? Or is there more value to signing Derek Carr for a 3-year deal, keeping those 2 first-round picks, hopefully cultivating them into all-pro type players or close to it, if you draft well like you did this last year with Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, and then you see where you're at maybe when Patrick Mahomes gets older, when Joe Burrow gets older, when maybe the quarterback class from in the NFL draft is even richer.
I get what you're saying. And if you're just building towards the future, if you're a Jets franchise that thinks that your window with the young defense and the young offense that you have can stay open for a long period of time, sure, you can go that route. But if you feel as if with the players that you have currently, as your roster is currently constructed, you're one quarterback away from contending for the AFC East, and possibly, if you get hot at the right time, contending for a Super Bowl, you can make that trade and not feel bad about it. And somebody texted and said, did they not learn anything from Russell Wilson? 2 first-round picks are not, 3 players and 3 first-round picks, or whatever.
And $240 million
and whatever the Broncos gave up, and a new contract for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I just wonder. It's like Derek Carr this year, because I'm just looking at this, and we're getting a lot of thoughts, both sides.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people agreeing with you, and a lot of people agreeing with me as well. So it's interesting. Angry Rams guy makes an interesting point. Let's just put it this way: no one thought that Stafford going to the Rams would get them a championship get them to a championship in the first year. Aaron Rodgers is better than Stafford was at that time, still is in my opinion, and I love Matthew Stafford. So I suppose there's that. Derek Carr, for example, this season, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 picks. Aaron Rodgers statistics this year,
36, 26, and 12.
So there you go. So similar, 2 fewer interceptions, 2 more touchdown passes in an offense that
Derek Carr had better weapons.
Yes, with Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. Now, in the Packers,
Aaron Rodgers is throwing to Samori Toure.
One thing I want to say is not consistently. With the Packers, I thought their defense was good this season. Quay Walker, you'll remember, made an incredibly stupid mistake twice in the last game of the season against the Lions that basically gave the Lions the opportunity to win. It was the Packers offense that was the problem. not
It was like
their
the
defense.
Broncos.
So yes, the Packers draft defense and draft non-skill guys all the time.
I was
but a
wrong
guy
about
like-
them being garbage this year, but for the longest time, even though they focused on the defensive side, their defense was not a strength.
So either way, but like Quay Walker's legit. He just made some stupid mistakes, and that's kind of the
Get out of his
difference.
head.
That was the difference, though, and I remember seeing this in Week 18 between like not Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, and how he handled DK Metcalf that day against the Rams when he was going at it with Jalen Ramsey, and Matt LaFleur and how he handled Quay Walker. There's two differences there, and it's just experience over, Matt LaFleur, I suppose. All right, let's get to break. When we come back, we dive into Husker football.
I don't know which one it is, though.
John. We got John on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. John, you still there, man?
Oh, still on. You guys are hurting my head. I got to tell you.
Let's hear it.
Are you guys – I get I don't even know which one's arguing which, but if you have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, you take him. Plain and simple. And then you're comparing Derek Carr. Derek Carr is going to get very few offers. He had a ton of talent this year and underperformed, as he has this whole time. Aaron Rodgers is an alpha dog, and I don't have a dog in the fight. But the Jets were competitive. You put Aaron Rodgers on there, it's a done deal. This is not even a conversation that needs to be taking place. Plain and simple. 2 first-round draft picks, you take Aaron Rodgers. And again, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. It's that plain and simple. If you can put Aaron Rodgers on your team, and he isn't scared of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, any of that. Trust me, if the Jets can make that deal happen, they make it happen. Plain and simple. Have a good one.
Appreciate the phone call, John. I want to clarify and respond to John here. First of all, not comparing Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr.
You kind of were.
I was saying with Derek Carr and 2 first-round picks, there's that kicker in there. With 2 first-round picks, is it smarter, not better, is it smarter than Aaron Rodgers, than just Aaron Rodgers with no first-round picks for the next 2 years?
No.
So, but put that aside.
Yeah.
When we look at stat comparisons, because John said that Derek Carr was garbage the last couple of years. Derek Carr, every year from 2018 to 2021, eclipsed 4,000 yards, had 4,800 passing yards in 2021, has eclipsed 20 touchdown passes every single year. And out of those 5 years, in 3 of those years, Derek Carr had fewer than 10 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, similar stats. I understand it's a different franchise, completely different identity on offense as well. But Aaron Rodgers, over 4,000 passing yards as well, same thing as Derek Carr. Many more touchdown passes. In 2020, he had the 48-5 year. That was remarkable. But when you look at completion percentages, Derek Carr throwing it a whole lot more than Aaron Rodgers was as well, had similar completion percentages to Aaron Rodgers. Had similar completion, and we just got done saying how Derek Carr, before he broke his leg, could have been an MVP candidate.
I don't even remember what year that was. It was like 20.
It was a while ago, because Derek Carr has been in the league for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So once again, yes, Aaron. I never said or tried to say that Aaron Rodgers was scared of Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. But he is. Let's look at it this way. Joe Burrow and the Bengals went on the road to Buffalo and put that game out of question by the start of the fourth quarter.
Joe Burrow's also just like
a top echelon.
He's
echelon.
Chill about everything.
Yeah,
it's
easy.
Strange.
So I think it's an interesting debate. And John, I apologize for making your head hurt, but we do appreciate the phone call. Let's get to break. We'll talk more coming up next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of 3.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hair loss and thinning is chronic, progressive, and frustrating. What we know is that the earlier it's diagnosed and treated aggressively, the better the long-term results. QC Kinetics offers a unique and comprehensive approach to restoring and improving hair follicle density and hair thickness. The majority of hair loss can be managed medically without the need for surgery. Their multifaceted approach to hair restoration allows them to help you improve the appearance and thickness of your hair. Call QC Kinetics in Lincoln today at 402-205-4270 or go to QCkinetics.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
You were almost home when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throats. Luckily, you've been training for this moment. Staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding touching your face. And thanks to the great tips at catchgoodhealth.org, you're on your way to being the very best at staying well. Don't let the Pikachu damage your health this cold and flu season. Instead, start your training today at catchgoodhealth.org.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Appreciate you guys in the first segment. A lot of good thoughts on both sides of the coin. I think Rico and I can agree on that.
I think I won.
I think you won. According to the text line, you won as well.
Thank you, text line.
So
I appreciate it.
Nice job, text line. Sign with Rico. 402-464-5685. Okay. Really quickly here, quick segment before we get to the crossover. Nebraska basketball hosts Northwestern tomorrow night. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. Northwestern won 66-63 last night at home against Wisconsin. They are now 13-5 on the year, and this comes after an 8-day COVID layoff. Bo Buie, is it Boo Buie or Bo Buie?
Bo Buie. It's not
Bo
Boo
Buie.
Buie. It would be so much better if it was Boo Buie, but it's Bo Buie.
Bo Buie. So Bo Buie led the way with 20.7 boards and 5 assists last night. Get this. He's reached the 20-point mark in 3 of their last 4 games. And here's what's even more impressive. After that 8-day COVID layoff, Northwestern, in their first half of basketball back, had only 2 turnovers the entire first half. After 8 days off, had 2 first-half turnovers in the game against Wisconsin.
That is impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
Wisconsin, good defensive team.
And here's what's crazy is last night, Northwestern against Wisconsin, it was their first of 6 games in a span of 13 days. So they got a grind coming up.
Yeah,
Northwestern
that's
does.
going to be interesting.
But here's Nebraska where, Rico, you just told me a statistic during the break.
Shout out to Robin Washut for this statistic. But so Nebraska is going to be without Juwan Gary and Emmanuel Bandamel for the rest of the year. Juwan Gary with the shoulder, Bandamel with the knee. The core 4 of Sam Griesel, Emmanuel Bandamel, Juwan Gary, and Derek Walker played a grand total of 10 games together this season. In those 10 games, they were 7-3, including wins over Creighton and Iowa, and the overtime loss to Purdue. 7-3 in 10 games with those 4 players, and now you've just lost 2 of them for the rest of the season. It's just a massive what could have been for Nebraska basketball. Even if they don't finish with the greatest of records, those 4 together, as you remember, Derek Walker missed the first 5 games.
That's
Sam
right.
Griesel missed 2 Big Ten games with last-second injuries. It's just so strange how different this season could have been if a couple of things would have been different.
So actually, I saw this on Twitter earlier today as well. And here's what's crazy. So once again, this also comes from Robin. They met with Fred Hoiberg. The media got to meet with Fred Hoiberg today. And here is Nebraska's list of injuries and illnesses so far this season. McPherson, season-ending knee injury. Quoron McPherson.
Before the season.
Yeah, before the season. Derek Walker, as you mentioned, misses the first 5 games. Griesel missed 2 Big Ten games, both of those being on the road, Indiana and Purdue. Blaise Keita has a high ankle sprain that's still bothering him.
Still nursing it.
Juwan Gary, season-ending shoulder injury. Then a week later, Emmanuel Bandamel, season-ending knee injury. It's crazy. And like
I
once
said
again,
this on the water cooler, in a make or break year, that's the last thing that Fred Hoiberg needed to have happen or could have happened, because he put together, as you've seen it when everybody's healthy outside of Quoron McPherson, because you didn't see him at all this season. When everybody was healthy, Nebraska put up a fight against damn near everybody. Got a couple of good wins in there, mixed in a really close fight that maybe should have probably won against Purdue at home. And then you're just dropping like flies left and right as the season comes to a close.
So once again, Nebraska will face Northwestern now tomorrow night at home at PBA. The student section is back in town. The Iron End is with classes back. They will be back.
Student section sit?
It's behind the benches.
Behind both benches?
Behind both benches, in the little middle behind the scores table.
Why don't
I don't know, Rico?
Every other university,
not every other one.
Well, a lot of other universities.
Yeah.
Behind the backboards.
Like Bob Devaney was.
Yeah, behind the backboards. You get the crazy signs and the little wiggle tape thingies. I don't know what they are. And then you stand there and you bother people for free throws.
Not anymore.
No.
Behind the coaches.
Sitting behind the coaches.
Behind the benches.
What are you doing?
So Northwestern's now 13-5. Huskers are 10-10 on the year. So they will face off against Northwestern. Hopefully what's a hostile crowd. I wonder, it'll be interesting to see tomorrow the fan engagement, the fan excitement around the arena prior to the game. I mean, usually 6 p.m. games will be a later arriving crowd.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. I mean, that won't be anything to be surprised about, but I would expect a decent turnout because it's a quality program in Northwestern coming in. And for the most part, Nebraska has been able to win at home. And so
still a winning record at home.
They've had a couple embarrassing losses at home, or excuse me, the 2 losses have been Illinois by 20 and then to eventual number 1 Purdue by a couple in overtime. And like Rico said, a game that you probably should have won.
Maybe, possibly, probably.
Yeah. So
let us know, obviously after Nebraska takes down Northwestern, let us know how the concession stands are, since they're,
for sure,
making changes and trying to get better at all that. So when you come back Thursday, because the game is tomorrow, not today. When you come back Thursday, text us, call us, and let us know how the concessions work.
Unnamed texter before we get to break says Nebraska hasn't figured out student sections for football games. It's so far away from the field, it literally has no effect. And unnamed texter, all I will say is that's a topic I'm passionate about. Not I just as passionate, if not more, about than Aaron Rodgers. Move the student section, please.
Move it.
But it interrupts season tickets. So
move the season ticket
you can't move season ticket holders, I guess.
The student section also has to buy season tickets. So
that's an interesting thought.
Wow, crazy. I know.
Provide the energy also.
Wow.
Let's take a break. When we come back, it'll be the crossover with Strick and Austin.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, wanting to say Happy New Year and thank you to all of you for your continued support. We have just closed out another outstanding year. We want to start 2023 off with a bang. The new G and Chevrolet inventory continues to roll in, and I'll actually be picking up my 2023 GMC later this month. So interest rates continue to climb. Cobble is partnering with General Motors and now offering 2.9% APR on select models. So we invite you to the dealership. Check us out online at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Nebraska golf team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West Oath.
If you're in Waverly or surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, contact Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Hair loss and thinning is chronic, progressive, and frustrating. What we know is that the earlier it is diagnosed and treated aggressively, the better the long-term results. QC Kinetics offers a unique and comprehensive approach to restoring and improving hair follicle density and hair thickness. The majority of hair loss can be managed medically without the need for surgery. Their multifaceted approach to hair restoration allows them to help you improve both the appearance and thickness of your hair. Call QC Kinetics in Lincoln today at 402-205-4270 or go to qckinetics.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air. When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, presented by Empire Fence and Netting on 97 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Happy Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I am Rico, joined on the crossover by the guys from On the Block. I've got Stricky. I've got Austin. Gentlemen, how are you?
What up? What up?
Great.
What up, Rick?
Apparently, we're going to continue this conversation because I got two more people that agree with Nick Sainert in that trading for Aaron Rodgers would be a bad idea for the Jets.
Bad idea.
Only giving up 2 first-rounders.
Bad idea.
Explain yourselves.
I'll let Austin go first. I'll be brief because it's not much. I just look at it from the standpoint of draft capital is something you've already missed. You've got a late Aaron Rodgers on the eve of him going out. He hasn't won you the big games as of yet, and to give up that capital, if you're gonna blow it up now. I mean, I know they're capable of winning. They probably would have done better. They fell off the freaking wagon at the end of the season. But if you can't guarantee Rodgers is going to give you 3+ years, I wouldn't do it. If you think you're getting Rodgers for 2 years, you're giving up 10 years of potential wins, potential growth, new, emerging. I just don't like the numbers as far as what you're giving up compared to what you would get potentially.
You kind of made my point for me. If you truly believe that you have a roster that's constructed to win now, and you believe that you're only a quarterback away, 2 first-rounders are nothing to you, because are you going to take that chance on drafting if you want to trade up to get a quarterback because you're not going to stick with Mike White? You're not going to stick with what's his name? Dude from BYU, Zach Wilson. You're not going to stick with either of them. Are you going to go out and are you going to sign Derek Carr, who also hasn't won the big game? Are you going to sign a 57-year-old Tom Brady, who has won the big game but is definitely on the decline in terms of his statistics and his age? Or are you going to give up these 2 first-rounders with your team?
You think he's on the decline?
He's been on the decline for years, but he's never actually declined. I don't know with Tom Brady. He's an alien. Yeah. I don't know. He had a bad year this year, but he had a good year for other quarterbacks. So he's weird. He's avocado ice cream and all that. So, but at some point he's going to fall off. Yeah. I don't know when. It could be in 7 years. It could be next year. Father Time is undefeated. I understand that Tom Brady and LeBron James are currently beating Father Time back with a stick, but at some point that stick's going to break.
So Aaron Rodgers is kind of in that zone.
Aaron Rodgers is still, he's younger than Tom Brady. He's old when it comes to quarterbacks. He's older than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. He's still getting it done. Yeah, he had 12 interceptions this year, but who was he throwing to? He didn't have any weapons in Green Bay.
I'll let him take it. But I just my thought. I understand your logic. I understand it.
Yeah, if you think your team is ready to win, if you truly believe that your roster is one quarterback away, 2 first-round picks, that's it. No players given up. No 2 first-round picks, 2 years. This year's, next year's. You can get Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long his contract remaining is.
Well, I think if you're banking on that for 2 years,
but if he ends up retiring, you don't have to pay that contract.
If you're banking on that for 2 years and you know you're going to get that salary to be able to, increase your numbers, I just hate that you don't have a quarterback that you're either grooming, working with behind it.
Well, that's where
you're
get
looking
those
3 years down the road for it's risky.
That's where you get those second, third, fourth, those other quarterbacks. You're not going to take a quarterback in the first round to put behind Aaron Rodgers because you saw how that works out with Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers doesn't appreciate that. So if you get somebody in the third round,
that's the exact problem. Aaron Rodgers is not worth the headache. Maybe there's more in there talent-wise than he showed this.
Well, if they would have told him they were going to take a quarterback, they sprung it on him.
Either way, here's the thing. New York's roster this past season, 6th youngest in the league. 3 players on the roster over 30 years old. 11 players that were rookies or in their first year in the league. Do you want that kind of headache, that kind of circus around that roster? Because I don't think the Jets are just a quarterback away. They started out fine. I think Robert Saleh is going to be a good head coach. They have some good young pieces there. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you're just a quarterback away? You mentioned the Jets' recent drafting history. A little spotty, sure. Their most recent first-round pick, Sauce Gardner.
And Garrett Wilson.
Of the year. Garrett Wilson looks like he can be a piece.
And then a defensive end from Florida State that I don't know if he did good.
So they went hard defense.
They did. But again, you utilize those first-round picks well. Not that you're going to year, but you did it this year. Oh, and you got Breece Hall, by the way. If you're not convinced Aaron Rodgers is going to play 3 more seasons, you don't do it.
I'd say 3 minimum.
If you don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play at a high level for at least 2 of those 3 seasons, you don't do it. If Aaron Rodgers is MVP Aaron Rodgers, and you feel 110% certain on that, yes, you give up 2 first rounders.
Yeah.
How can you be certain of that and that he won't be a headache with that young a roster in that market?
You aren't, but also it is Aaron Rodgers, multiple-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, and I understand that you're not sure. Is their roster better than Buffalo's? I don't know. Probably
Is their
not.
roster better than Miami's?
Yes.
Is their roster in coaching situation better than New England?
Coaching situation, no. Roster, yes.
I still think I trust Miami a little more than I do the Jets.
Miami's in a similar situation with quarterbacks. I don't know. Do they have the faith in Tua? They're
sticking with him. Yeah.
Is he going to physically in his body going to stick with them?
Is Aaron Rodgers going to?
See, that's
has health issues.
It's a hard. This is crazy. It's tough. I mean, I understand the point, and I agree. I think if you can get him for 3 years and you're going to get high level Aaron Rodgers, I think it's a risk.
Well, I mean, obviously you don't make the trade unless he commits to you for however many years that you need him to commit to you.
Yeah, think how flaky he's been and how weird he's been.
Because he doesn't like Green Bay. He doesn't like him.
I think
they've been doing him wrong for years.
I'm not even going to go on that route because you stay when you say, okay, I lose. He in his interview, out of his own words, he says, I love Matthew Hackett. Hackett is the guy, is it
Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I love Nathaniel. He's great. He's the best thing that's been for me. I'm willing to go wherever he goes, type of thing. And then he doesn't move on that. No, I know and that's how Russell Wilson ends up where he ends up because.
But I mean, that's not a him decision. If he wanted to go to Denver, if Denver puts together a good enough package, Green Bay accepts that and they trade him away. He doesn't have a say in that.
Here's the other thing. Aaron Rodgers is making $50 million a year. If you're not just a quarterback away, you can't afford to spend that much space on a quarterback who's maybe declining. If you still have other holes to fill in, again, what's the way you win in the NFL now? You get a quarterback on a rookie deal. That's what you do. Aaron Rodgers clearly not on that. $50 million is too much to spend on a risk like that.
Well, the numbers say that the rookie deals or the ones that have not yet hit their money bags, the only one that's close to breaking that mold is Mahomes. He's the only one that's on the verge of breaking that mold.
2 of the last 4, I think, Super Bowl champions were not on rookie deals. If you're counting Tom Brady and Matthew
Well, that's
Stafford.
what I'm saying. But Tom Brady's different because Tom Brady, if you look up, was never a top 10 paid quarterback.
Yeah, because his wife is making all the money.
So what I'm saying is he relinquished the money in order to allow the
rest
appropriation of everything to be filled. That's what I'm saying. Outside of that, You haven't had where that's been the case where they win.
Jared Goff with the Rams, Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs, Joe Burrow with the Bengals. The Bills were in contention when Josh Allen was still on his rookie deal before he got extended. It's the surest way to make sure you have cap space. If you have a good quarterback, they're going to get paid. They have to get paid.
Yes.
The safest way to build a roster, though, is to be good while your quarterback is young.
That's true.
Unfortunately,
but
that's just the numbers.
You have to build up your roster before you take that quarterback, and then that quarterback you have to hit.
You
can't miss because if that window closes quick.
Now, do you think Rodgers is willing for reconstruction? Do you think he's willing to take a significantly amount of less money in this later part of his career? That would be the question that would have to be
The reason
made.
he re-signed with Green Bay is because they offered the most money. I feel like he's mostly about the money. I don't know him. I'm speaking probably out of turn, whatever. But to me, it seems like he's about the money.
Yeah,
because if he truly wanted to leave and win, he would not have re-signed with Green Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because no matter how many promises they give him, they've shown. Again, I said since 2003, they have not taken a skill position player outside of quarterback since 2003. They took Rodgers in 2000 whatever, and they took Jordan Love a couple years ago. Outside of that, it's been defense and 2 offensive linemen.
Right, but the flakiness to me is one of the reasons I think Devontae Adams leaves. Right, I think that's what I'm talking. May be right in the justification of what you just said, but to have the guy who basically not only got you your bag, who you were so in tune with that you guys were like a match made in heaven, that he breaks on you because of the fact that there's just so much this is speculation. It's seemingly flakiness in whether you're going to stay, whether you're going to go, are you going to be here, are you not? All of these different things left Devontae Adams to make a break. And so that's why I'm like, I know what I'm going to get from him.
There's a part of that, and that was a part of the money situation where Devontae wanted to be paid, and Aaron was taking up most of the cap space.
That part too.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it would be, if you truly believe you're a quarterback away, that would be a great trade. It's 2 first-rounders. If you think your roster's intact, go ahead and do that. I'm sure there's other teams that believe 2 first-rounders for Aaron Rodgers, 2-3 years of Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. But honestly, in all honesty, it's not going to happen. We hear Aaron Rodgers every year. Nothing ever happens. He'll be in Green Bay next year. Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it, but he's not going anywhere. So, yeah, whatever. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers for being in the news year after year. But that's
machine.
Really good. That's our On the Block with these 2 hooligans up next on 93.7 The Ticket. I will see you guys mañana.
Kenny Wilhite too will be in.
Oh, Kenny Wilhite? Oh, look at that. Okay. Adios.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at .com. On the